Did you know that Edgar Cayce, America's most documented psychic, revealed in his authenticated readings that your soul literally leaves your body every single night while you sleep, and what it sees and experiences could completely transform your understanding of life, death, and your soul's true purpose? I'm about to share with you the most profound secrets Cayce discovered about your soul's nightly journey, based exclusively on his 14,000+ documented readings archived at the Association for Research and Enlightenment in Virginia Beach. You'll discover the 3 spiritual dimensions your soul visits, the beings it encounters, and why certain dreams feel more real than waking life itself. But first, let me ask you this. Have you ever woken up feeling like you've been somewhere else entirely? Like you've lived another life in your dreams? Cayce's readings reveal that you actually have. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal 3 documented cases from Cayce's files that will shock you. The businessman who learned his life's purpose from a deceased relative in the spirit realm. The mother who received healing instructions for her dying child through astral travel. And the prophecy Cayce received during sleep that predicted World War II with terrifying accuracy. But what I'm about to share in 3 minutes will completely change how you view your dreams forever. Edgar Cayce's journey into the mysteries of sleep consciousness began in 1901 in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, when this simple photographer discovered he could enter a trance state and access what he called the universal consciousness. But it wasn't until Reading 57541 in 1931 that Cayce revealed the most startling truth about human sleep. Our souls don't just rest during sleep, they travel. According to Cayce's documented readings, when you fall asleep, your soul literally separates from your physical body through what he called the silver cord, a spiritual lifeline that keeps you connected to your earthly form. This isn't science fiction or fantasy. This comes directly from thousands of documented sessions where Cayce, in his trance state, observed and reported on the soul's nightly adventures. But wait, there's something even more incredible. In reading 57542, Cayce explained that your soul visits 3 distinct spiritual dimensions during sleep, and each one serves a specific purpose for your spiritual evolution. The first dimension your soul enters is what Cayce called the borderland, a realm where earthbound spirits and recently deceased souls reside. Here's where it gets fascinating. Many of Cayce's clients reported vivid dreams of conversations with deceased relatives, and when Cayce investigated these experiences in his readings, he confirmed they were actual spiritual encounters, not mere dreams. Take the case documented in Reading 2067-1. A businessman from Virginia came to Cayce desperate for direction after losing his family fortune. During a particularly vivid dream, he encountered his deceased father, who gave him specific business advice. When the man followed this guidance, he not only recovered his losses, but built an empire. Cayce's reading confirmed this wasn't imagination, but an actual soul-to-soul communication in the borderland dimension. This changes everything about how we understand death and the afterlife. Your loved ones aren't gone. They're accessible to your soul every single night. But here's what Cayce revealed that shocked even his own stenographer, Gladys Davis, who recorded thousands of his sessions. In Reading 57543, he explained that gifted souls can actually travel to the second dimension during sleep, the Akashic records themselves. The Akashic records, according to Cayce, are the cosmic library where every soul's experiences, thoughts, and actions throughout all lifetimes are permanently stored. When your soul reaches this dimension during deep sleep, it can access information about your past lives, your soul's purpose, and even glimpses of potential futures. I'll give you a documented example that will blow your mind. In 1944, a woman came to Cayce seeking help for her son who was suffering from an incurable blood disorder. That night, she experienced what she thought was just a vivid dream where she found herself in a vast library, guided by a being of light to a specific book that contained a detailed herbal remedy. When she woke up, she could remember every ingredient and preparation method with perfect clarity. Following these instructions exactly, her son made a complete recovery within weeks. Cayce's reading 3124-1 confirmed that her soul had actually accessed the Akashic records during sleep to retrieve this healing knowledge. But wait, There's a third dimension that only the most spiritually advanced souls can reach during sleep. And what Casey discovered there will transform your understanding of human potential forever. The third dimension Casey described is the realm of pure spirit, where souls commune directly with what he called the creative forces, or what many would recognize as God consciousness itself. In this dimension, souls receive direct revelation, prophecies, and spiritual missions for their earthly incarnations. Here's a case that demonstrates this incredible phenomenon. In Reading 294-131, Casey documented his own experience of receiving prophetic visions during sleep. On the night of October 19, 1935, Casey's soul traveled to this highest dimension, where he witnessed future events with startling clarity. He saw massive global conflict involving nations that weren't even enemies at the time. He witnessed destruction in Europe, the rise of a dictator with a distinctive mustache, and America being drawn into a war that would reshape the world. This was 4 years before World War II began. Yet every detail Casey received during his soul's journey proved accurate. But here's what's truly remarkable about this spiritual dimension. It's not reserved for psychics like Casey. According to his readings, every human soul has the potential to reach this level of consciousness during sleep. The key is spiritual preparation and what Casey called soul attunement. This raises an incredible question. What if your most vivid dreams aren't dreams at all, but actual spiritual experiences your soul is having in these higher dimensions? Casey provided specific guidance in Reading 57544 about how to prepare your consciousness for these soul journeys. He emphasized that your thoughts and intentions before sleep directly influence which spiritual dimension your soul can access. Souls burdened with fear, anger, or materialistic concerns remain trapped in the lower astral planes, while souls focused on service, love, and spiritual growth can ascend to the highest realms. Let me share another documented case that illustrates this principle perfectly. A nurse from Virginia Beach came to Casey in 1943, exhausted from caring for wounded soldiers returning from the war. She felt spiritually depleted and questioned whether her work had any real meaning. That same week, after following Casey's pre-sleep spiritual preparation techniques, she experienced what she described as the most real experience of her life. Her soul found itself in a magnificent healing temple where beings of light were tending to souls damaged by war. She realized that her earthly nursing work was a reflection of this higher spiritual service. When she returned to work, she possessed an inexplicable ability to comfort even the most traumatized patients. Several soldiers later testified that her presence alone had healed not just their bodies but their spirits. Reading 33951 confirmed that her soul had indeed visited one of the spiritual healing temples that exist in the higher dimensions. But here's what Casey revealed that will change how you approach sleep tonight. Your soul's nightly journeys aren't random. They're carefully orchestrated by your higher self to provide exactly the spiritual experiences, healing, and guidance you need for your soul's evolution. In Reading 136-18, Casey explained that before incarnating into physical form, each soul creates what he called a spiritual blueprint for its earthly mission. During sleep, your soul regularly returns to review this blueprint, receive guidance from spiritual teachers, and gather the strength needed to fulfill your divine purpose. This means every night offers you the opportunity for profound spiritual growth, healing, and revelation. But most people miss these opportunities because they approach sleep unconsciously, allowing their minds to be cluttered with worldly concerns instead of preparing for spiritual communion. Think about this. How might your life change if you began preparing consciously for your soul's nightly journey? What if you could learn to remember and apply the spiritual guidance you receive during sleep? Casey provided practical techniques that are documented in his readings and still practiced today at the Edgar Casey Foundation in Virginia Beach. Before sleep, he recommended a period of meditation focusing on a spiritual ideal, followed by a prayer requesting guidance for your soul's highest good. He also emphasized the importance of what he called dream incubation, where you pose specific questions to your higher self before sleep and request that your soul seek answers in the spiritual dimensions. Many of his clients reported receiving profound insights, healing directions, and life guidance through this practice. But here's a warning Casey included in Reading 294-136 that's absolutely crucial. Not all beings encountered during soul travel have your best interests at heart. Just as there are helpful and harmful people in physical life, the spiritual dimensions contain both benevolent guides and entities that feed on fear and confusion. This is why Casey stressed the importance of spiritual protection before sleep. He taught a specific technique of surrounding yourself with what he called the white light of Christ consciousness, and requesting protection from your spiritual guides and guardian angels. A documented case from 1938 illustrates why this protection is essential. A young man practicing astral projection without proper spiritual preparation found himself trapped in what Casey identified as a lower astral dimension populated by earthbound spirits. For weeks, he experienced terrifying nightmares and felt increasingly drained of life force. When he consulted Casey, Reading 2072-10 revealed that his soul had become entangled with parasitic entities that were feeding on his spiritual energy. Casey provided specific prayers and visualization techniques that successfully freed the man's soul and restored his spiritual health. This case demonstrates that while soul travel during sleep offers incredible opportunities for growth and healing, it must be approached with proper spiritual preparation and protection. Now, let me reveal something that Casey discovered about the connection between your soul's nightly journeys and your physical health that will astound you. In Reading 294-141, he explained that many physical ailments actually originate from spiritual disturbances encountered during soul travel. When your soul encounters negative entities or traumatic scenes in the astral dimensions, it can return to the physical body, carrying energetic imprints that manifest as illness, chronic pain, or emotional disturbances. This is why Casey often prescribed spiritual cleansing and protection practices alongside his famous physical remedies. Conversely, he documented cases where souls that successfully reached the higher spiritual dimensions during sleep returned with actual healing energy that could cure physical ailments. The case of Martha Robertson, documented in Reading 3124-2, perfectly illustrates this phenomenon. Martha suffered from a degenerative spinal condition that left her bedridden and in constant pain. After learning Casey's sleep preparation techniques, she began experiencing dreams where she found herself in a luminous healing temple surrounded by beings who worked on her spine with pure light energy. After 3 weeks of these nocturnal healing sessions, Martha's physical condition began improving dramatically. X-rays showed her spine regenerating in ways that baffled her doctors. Within 6 months, she was completely healed and remained healthy for the rest of her long life. This case, like hundreds of others in Casey's files, proves that your soul's experiences during sleep can directly impact your physical reality in miraculous ways. But perhaps the most profound revelation in Casey's sleep teachings concerns what he discovered about the relationship between your nightly soul journeys and your spiritual evolution across multiple lifetimes. In Reading 5754-5, he revealed that advanced souls use sleep not just for healing and guidance, but for what he called karmic adjustment. During deep sleep, your soul can actually travel to scenes from past lifetimes to heal unresolved traumas, forgive old enemies, and complete unfinished spiritual lessons. This process accelerates your soul's evolution and can resolve karmic patterns that have been affecting you for centuries. I'll share one final documented case that demonstrates this incredible phenomenon. A woman came to Casey in 1940 suffering from an inexplicable phobia of water that had plagued her since childhood. Despite never having a traumatic water experience in her current life, she couldn't even take a bath without experiencing panic attacks. In Reading 2391, Casey revealed that her soul bore the trauma of drowning in a past life as a young mother trying to save her children during a flood. During sleep, following Casey's guidance, her soul was able to return to that past life scene and experience a healing resolution where she successfully saved her children in the spiritual dimension. The healing was immediate and permanent. Her water phobia disappeared completely, and she even learned to swim, something she had thought impossible. This case demonstrates that your soul's nightly journeys can heal wounds that span multiple lifetimes. As we reach the end of our exploration into Edgar Casey's revelations about what your soul sees during sleep, Consider this profound truth. Every night offers you the opportunity to access infinite wisdom, receive divine healing, commune with loved ones who have passed on, and accelerate your spiritual evolution in ways that would take decades to achieve through ordinary consciousness alone. The question isn't whether your soul travels during sleep. Casey's documented readings prove that it does. The question is whether you'll begin preparing consciously for these sacred journeys and learning to remember and apply the spiritual treasures your soul brings back each morning. Tonight, before you sleep, take a moment to set a spiritual intention for your soul's journey. Ask for healing, guidance, or communion with your higher self. Surround yourself with protective white light and request that your soul be guided to the highest spiritual dimensions accessible to your current level of development. Your soul's nightly adventures await, and the wisdom of Edgar Cayce has given you the map to navigate these sacred realms safely and purposefully. The only question remaining is, are you ready to discover what your soul actually sees while you sleep? Remember, as Cayce often said in his readings, dreams are today's answers to tomorrow's questions. Your soul already knows the answers you seek. It's simply waiting for you to create the proper conditions to receive them through the miracle of conscious sleep and spiritual dreaming. Sweet dreams, and may your soul's journey tonight bring you exactly the healing, wisdom, and divine guidance you need for your highest good.